Hello and welcome to my video tutorials on how to blend learning very easily with very simple tools in the classroom. Obviously this is for MFL, but this can be applied to any subjects, especially humanities subjects. So today I'm going to show you another really good tool that I talked about a lot, which is Wheel of Names. Wheel of Names, basically it is supposed to be to put different names of people and basically a name picker. But what I like doing it, I like to do it is basically to use it to add vocabulary, questions, sentences, wherever I want to, and I use it as a retrieval practice mechanism. So this is basically my wheel of names created. Basically, this is what it looks like. There is a video tutorial in my YouTube on how to create this. It's very simple. It takes literally 5 minutes. Once I do this is me in front of the class. I'm showing this in the big screen. At the moment, people really don't need the laptops at all. We are all doing it together and we just play the game. So something will pop up. In this particular case, is translations. So here it comes. This is my sentence. Okay. So what I would do is, okay, vamos a traducir esta frase. We need to translate this sentence. To start with, as a first activity, I'll do this with whiteboards. So they need to translate that one. If I have a mixed ability class, some kids will translate this really quickly. Other ones will take a little bit longer. So normally the ones who take it, do it really quickly. I will say, this is fantastic. Can you extend it? Can you say something else? Can you use a different tense? Remember, I'm using a lexical grammar approach, and this is based on sentence builders that we've been practicing over and over again. We've done a lot of modeling, and what we're doing at the moment is practicing it in the structured production stage in the learning journey. So that's basically what we're doing. Once everybody shows the whiteboards, okay, at that point, I would give them a lot of rewards. That's really good. So you get a sticker every 3-4 stickers. As I said previously, you would get a merit. Okay, if there are mistakes, and normally sometimes I just have to say to the person, Lucy, look at the sentence there. Can you have a look at it? There's a little silly mistake there. Can you spot it? Normally that's enough. If the person cannot see where the mistake is, I normally then call everybody, okay guys, some of you have written this, and I just write the sentence with the mistake on the board. Why is this right? Why is this wrong? How can it be better? What is the rule behind, etc. But all that normally happens in very specific cases. Normally just spotting and telling the person, check your sentence again. Normally they realize where the mistake is. So basically what we do is that we remove it, and then basically they will get a little sticker. They keep a tally in the whiteboards, and they know after 3, 4, 5, depending how I want to do it, the stickers, they will get a merit that they collect at the end. So this is another one, and we keep moving, and we keep doing over and over again, all together with the whiteboards. After 10-15 minutes with the whiteboards, what I do is that now we're going to stop it, and now we're going to do it orderly. And then now when you do orderly, okay, you are going to get basically 2 stickers. If you don't want to put your hand up to start with, think it in your head. I'm giving at this time a lot of thinking time. Okay, thinking time, put it in your head. When you're ready, put your hands up. At the beginning, when we start doing this activity, not many people put their hands up. A little by little, more and more people volunteer, especially because you get 2 or sometimes 3 stickers for saying it orderly. We do this a few times, and then after that, now comes the blended learning. As Wheel of Names will give me an URL. So what I do, I go to OneNote. OneNote is basically my vehicle to share my resources with the students. What I do at the point is that I put the wheel in the link here. So they go to the Wheel of Names, and now at this stage they're going to be doing the same thing as I did with them as a whole class, with their pairs, with their partners basically. And they work in groups of 2. So what they're doing now is testing each other. To make it more exciting, okay, I always tell them, why don't you play piedra, papel, tijera, which is a stone, paper, and scissors, okay? So basically the idea is, if you win, you take the turn, and basically you say the sentence. If you lose, you don't speak. Normally, I always like when I do these games, I like rewarding the fact, okay, that you win, you speak, because speaking is really good. So they do that in person, they do that probably for another 10-15 minutes. After that, and they've been practicing at this stage, I don't really mind too much if they're doing the making mistakes, because what I want them is to say it and to become quite good saying those sentences from those sentence builders. After that, and this is what I like about this learning, if we do have time during the lesson, need within the lesson. If not, that would probably be their homework. It is basically they're going to spin the wheel, but instead of doing orally, they are going to write the sentences here. A little bit like we did with whiteboards, but now it becomes a written activity. At this stage, okay, they can write in their whiteboard and into their OneNotes. If they don't have a OneNote, or even they have a OneNote to do this activity, remember they can do all this with a phone, because they just need to click on it, and actually you don't need to write a lot in here. So actually you could do this with a click on a phone, and that normally solves the problem. If they don't have their computers, so with someone with a computer, what they do is that they do have their phone, and they write the sentences on a piece of paper, and at the end, in the books, they will have to take a picture, so I see it in OneNote there. So that is one really simple activity that actually leads to a whole class practice. Then from the whole class practice comes to one-to-one oral activity, pair work with a game element, and then it leads itself to a writing activity. So all that from just a wheel of names that took me 5 minutes to create. Remember that with wheel of names, it's not just words, you can also insert pictures. Okay, so brilliant for especially for year 7s and year 8s. I remember that this particular case was a lot of words, whole sentences, but it could just be verbs. It could be infinitives. It could be sentences in Spanish that need to translate. It could be absolutely anything you want to. And I use this strategy from year 7 all the way to A level. And in A level, I would put sometimes topical words, and then you have to give I feel a little bit like a little speech for 30 seconds and talk about that particular topic that comes up in the wheel. So it's giving that kind of gamification element into the teaching, which the students actually like, and it makes the learning much more exciting, and it really does work for the motivation of the students. Remember, you can use grammar, you can use topical vocabulary, you can use translation from Spanish into English, or target language into English into target language, and great way for retrieval practice, and also as well for spontaneity, because if you just put a word, you may say write a sentence with a word, or say a sentence with a word. Another activity that you can do if you want to, instead of writing it down, I've done that as well before, is the students, instead of writing it down, they need to record an audio. So that's really helpful if you're using OneNote, because you've got the audio inset here. So the students will have, they divide the screen. In one screen, they have the wheel of names. Okay, they know, they come up with a sentence, and then they go to the wheel of names here and record themselves speaking. Someone is really good, I always say to them, extend it, because I will be listening to it. And if you have extended your answer, you will be getting extra stickers. Getting the stickers in my lessons is a way of promoting good habits. They know they're going to be rewarded, and that becomes intrinsic in their way of thinking, and they just do it then automatically, and because that's what they're used to doing. And I also like using it as well and give them the rewards as a motivation factor, and that works really well. So that's another trick and simple activity to do blended learning that requires literally 5 minutes.